Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention, please. Welcome to the Wheaty for the celebration of Chris Finnen's 70th birthday. What a great night we're going to have. Steve Vonderbock's my name. I'm your MC tonight. I'm going to have the pleasure of asking Chris a few questions. We thought we'd just interview him for just 5 or 7 minutes before the show tonight to kick things off. But before I do that, just a couple of quick notes. I've got the Arbor desk over to my left-hand side over there, your right. We're selling, obviously, our merch from over there. We have raffle tickets that were on sale tonight. They are in support of the Youth in Blues program. We've got to raise enough money to keep that initiative going. And by the way, to all the members in the room, thank you very much for your support. It's so important. We draw a tremendous heart from the fact that we have so many members and a little bit of money as well. And if you're not a member, have a chance, have a chat to Peter over there at the desk, and he will sort you out with membership, I'm sure. I don't think I've got anything else particularly on that line. Oh, by the way, the sound here tonight is being recorded. So we'd really appreciate, I'm sure you're going to give it anyway, the respect that Chris is due, and also the other people in the room. It is a room where if people chat a bit, you can be distracted from the music. So let's let the music shine here tonight and show it the respect it deserves. Chris, great to see you, old mate. I've known Chris since 1978. Shared a spliff with him in the car park at the Alma Hotel. I'll never forget it. Chris, just a few things about your history of music and things that perhaps people normally wouldn't get a chance to talk to you about. I thought I'd ask you about here tonight. What about your earliest memories of the things that inspired you to follow the path that you have? What were the key moments that in your early life that drove that?
My father playing records at Sunday lunch and playing Django Reinhardt and Les Paul and Mary Ford records after we'd listened to British comedy shows, and the guitar just sounded so exciting. And then some of the stuff on British television in the 60s, I first picked up and started playing guitar in 1962. So I think in 63 the Beatles came out. So prior to the Beatles, it was a bit of skiffle and mostly pop music. But then if we'd behaved ourselves, we were allowed to stay up late on a Sunday night, stay up to 9 o'clock and see a show called Sunday Night at the London Palladium. And so you get to see the Shadows and Nina and Frederick, and you get to see some performers live. It was all relatively sanitised, and the songs were carefully crafted. But then I got to hear a show on the radio called Saturday Club. A guy called Brian Matthews ran that, and that had R&B, and by that stage it was 63, 64, and the Stones were starting, and I just thought, I want that.
Yeah, right. And that was the moment that you sort of thought you'd make music your career.
Yeah, that was the initial moment. My father initially was encouraged me until he discovered the kind of music I wanted to play, and then he was horrified. But then it wasn't. There was so much music to choose from because there was still a lot of very straight kind of jazz and middle of the road music, and some of that was great. I mean, I love Nat King Cole, I love Ella Fitzgerald, I love Louis Armstrong, because Dad used to play those records. So I got to hear jazz and a bit of classical music, but it was R&B was the thing that kicked me up the butt. It just had something about it. I don't know what it was. I was a white kid living in Sussex. It wasn't as if I was born in the Delta, but it made me thirsty for more, and it was a good time to be in England then because it just opened up completely. Within a couple of years, there was Manfred Mann and the Kinks and the Who and the Searchers and everybody. The music just exploded. So I was in the right place at the right time.
So were you the member of any bands in those before you came out here, or was it just a matter of that was the formative years in terms of your concept? Well, how did that work? Did you?
Well, before I came out here, I went to a folk club, and I also loved traditional folk music and Scottish music, and Dad was from Scotland and Mum was from Northumberland, so there were like coal mining songs and stuff like that. So I liked folk music as well, so Donovan and Dylan and everything. And then the bands, and it all just, wherever their music was, I just found that my radar was on.
Oh, yeah. So you came out here in what year?
In 1967, I was 14.
Right. And once you got here, did you find people of a similar mind? And
Once I got out here, I went to a record shop and I said I want an R&B album and I want a folk album, knowing nothing about Australian music apart from maybe having heard the Easy Beats, and Shirley Abercare, you know. But the R&B album they gave me was the Loved Ones Magic Box, which is one of my favourite Australian albums, and I got to hang out with Jerry Humphries a fair bit after the Loved Ones, and I used to play at a club called Q Club in Melbourne. But the folk album that the guy told me I should buy was The Chic of Scrubby Creek by Chad Morgan. That made me wonder.
Now, Chris, I want to make sure you mentioned before you want to make the night about the music, so we're just a little short on probably the list of 7 or 10 questions I might have asked you. I don't want to cut in at all to your performance time, but just a couple of very quick ones. Tell me about what is your most memorable gig that you were ever a part of? What would you nominate as that?
Well, I couldn't put it down to one. I guess all the gigs I did with the Matt Taylor Band during those tours, they were all memorable because it was Australian blues coming to the fore. Playing for the Dalai Lama was memorable. Probably the most special moment I ever had playing music was playing for my son about an hour after he was born and just playing a guitar tune to Open G and lifting the sound. You know, that you couldn't put a price on that.
And of course, you did get to play once with your father on an album.
Yeah, Dad. It's quite. I mean, my 70th birthday was actually Christmas Eve, but it's quite poignant that my father passed away because everyone's scared of death, so they don't die; they pass away. But he passed away when he was 65, and it really hit me this year that okay, I'm sort of 5 years on past my father, and it just makes you think. I mean, everybody gets their span, and you've got to do the best you can with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you've chosen some musicians to play along with you here tonight, and just a couple of quick notes on why you picked them and why they're here tonight. Josh Bennett, why?
Well, Josh has been a dear friend of mine, as has his brother Tim Bennett and his mother and his late father, who passed away last year, and we'll be dedicating what we do to Tony as well. But I met Josh, and it wasn't hard to become a friend of Josh because he's such a lovable man and a highly intelligent man. And we started off, I showed him a few guitar bits and pieces, and now I should be going to him, learning how to play. He's absolutely phenomenal. He plays with such spirit, such great intent, and such great feeling that I'm very pleased that I've got the opportunity to be playing with him tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll be pleased to be introduced to him. Gunter, why did you come in? Yeah.
And also Josh's brother Tim. I mean,
I haven't.
He's
last on the list.
The two brothers together. So you'll find out when you hear Tim, he's our secret weapon. That's all I got to say. Just keep your ears open and watch him. Gunter, I met a number of years ago when he came out here, and we had a bit of an affinity with African marketplace, as does Josh and myself, for where Gunter came from. And he's a nice young man. And this whole thing is about, if I look at the fact that I've turned 70 and I've been playing music for 60 years and playing it full time for 54, and I'll be 40 of it in Adelaide. And the whole idea always has been to pass it on. If ever I can show somebody something, I will. I mean, I'm not skilled enough to read music, but I'll try and pass stuff on. And I think that's something we should all do. So Gunter, as a younger man, he's part of the future. Josh and Tim are sort of in their middle ages, and they've been playing for a long time, and I'm an old bastard. So you mix it all up, and it just goes on. You know, you can't learn this stuff out of a book. You look at each other and you try something spontaneous and you throw things at each other. This is how you learn it. You, like people in a village breaking bread together, you don't get it out of a textbook. You get it out of life experience.
And finally, the amazing Trapper. What is it about Trapper being here tonight?
I love his hair. No, no. Like I've got a little thing. I was going to read it up later, but I'll read it out now because it's relevant to what you're saying. And I've put, tonight is all about paying homage to the musicians who have been an influence on my life in one way or another. To include all of them would take far too long, and we don't have that much time. But here are what I consider to be a worthy selection, and that will be the songs we play. And part of that selection, Josh and Tim joining me on stage for the first set, and of course Gunter in the second set, and the man who can read my heartbeat, and that's Trapper.
There you go. Well, that's a great way for me to leave the stage, ladies and gentlemen. I will leave you with Chris Finnen. I believe a solo out front, and then a bit of solo, and then you have the other guys join you. 2 sets, 15 minutes in between or thereabouts. Let's see you the other side of it. I'll be up in the break.
Okay, the first tune I'm going to do, we're going to mix things up a bit tonight and feature everybody in various ways. So it made sense that I should start with a little solo piece. And we've lost quite a few musicians. I mean, how many people have we lost? It's not even the end of January yet. 3 people, 4 people already. One of my biggest influences when I started buying blues albums here was a wonderful Peter Green. He left us a few years ago, and he was just a remarkable musician, singer, guitar player. So this is a little dedication to Peter. It's called Trying So Hard to Forget. The lyrics aren't the happiest words in the world to start an evening of music off with, but they were heartfelt and they came from him and they mean an awful lot. So life can be so sad. Sometimes you just sit right down and you cry. Life can be so sad. Sometimes you sit right down and you cry. Sometimes you get to thinking you'd be better off if you should die. I tried so hard to remember people I tried so hard to forget. I tried so hard to remember, and I tried so hard to forget. But my mind keeps going back to the days when I was nothing but a downtrodden kid. Some folks have such a good life. They just get on that big train and they ride. Some folks have such a good life. They just get on that big train and they ride. All my life was spent running and hiding from the world outside. If I ever get to heaven, sure would ease my worried mind. If I ever get to heaven, sure would ease my poor worried mind. When I get to that place up in the sky, I'm gonna leave all my blues behind. I'd like to invite up Trapper and Tim. You can make them feel welcome while I change guitars. Went to another tune that Peter Green sang. This is a tune called Someday After a While. And I first heard it, I was 15, 16 years old, 16, it was 1968 this album came out. It was an album called A Hard Road by John Mayall. And on John Mayall's first Blues Breakers album, the guitarist was Eric Clapton. And on the second album, the guitar player was Peter Green. He certainly had some big shoes to fill. And I know what that's like because when I joined the Matt Taylor Band and Chain, well, the shoes I had to fill were Phil Manning's, and so I know what the feeling's like. Phil was one of the great Australian guitar pioneers. Anyway, this is one of the tunes on the album, and Peter Green he was sounding closer to Eric Clapton on this album, and then of course he got his own sound with Fleetwood Mac. But the chord structure's kind of like the way Ray Charles played tunes. So if you think it's a 12-bar, you think again. I got to ride that lonesome train. My heart is heavy with aches and pains. Someday, baby, you ain't gonna worry my mind anymore. I shouldn't have been selfish. Shouldn't have walked out. Sometimes it kind of makes you wonder what this crazy thing called love is all about. Someday, baby, after a while, you're gonna be so sorry. Trouble on my mind. Trouble way down the line. But I don't need your sympathy. Our woman, don't you pity me? I'll tell you about it. on my mind. Trouble, trouble, way down the line. But I don't need your sympathy. I said, woman, don't you pity me. I might be blue. I don't mind. Someday soon I'm gonna leave all my blues behind. Ah, someday, baby, you ain't gonna worry my mind. Someday, woman, woo, you ain't gonna worry my mind. Someday, darling, you ain't gonna worry my mind anymore. Now we're going to get Josh Bennett to come and join us now. And we live in a highly technological age, says me, without a book face or a computer that I use. But there are lots of various machines that people can buy, little accessories, you know. They haven't actually made this machine yet. The song's called Sex Machine. There's a number of interesting offshoots, but there's not a machine you can climb into yet and dial up what you want.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know. But so this is a tune that I heard in the 70s. Now I'm in my 70s, but I heard it in the 70s by Sly and the Family Stone. It's a tune called Sex Machine. Okay, this next tune. Also comes from the Hard Road album, and again the album with Peter Green on with John Mayall. I remember sitting in my bedroom playing along with this album over and over and over again, and my mother and father walking in saying, "Can you turn that bloody guitar down? Your sister's trying to do her homework." They never worried about me doing my homework because I never did it. You don't love me, baby. You don't love me, yes I know. You don't love me, baby. You don't love me, yes I know. Think I'm a fool. You better be on your merry way. I say goodbye, baby. I guess I'll never see you no more. Goodbye, baby. Guess I'll never see you no more. Think I'm a fool. You're gonna be on your merry way. Okay, Trap, Josh, tell him. Never see you no more. Goodbye, baby. I guess I'll never see you no more. Think I'm a fool? You better be on your merry way. Thanks very much. Of course, the Allman Brothers also did a fantastic version of that live at the Fillmore. I wonder how many other things were done at the Fillmore that were never released. There was a lot of albums recorded at the Fillmore, and I do recall going to see Led Zeppelin at the Kooyong Tennis Stadium in Melbourne in 1971 or 72. And it started raining. They did a long show. They played for 3.5 hours. And anyway, it started raining, and Robert Plant came strolling out and said, he said, I have a friend who played in the rain once. He's not a friend anymore. So we all waited, and Led Zeppelin 4 had just come out, so even Houses of the Holy wasn't out. And it was a monstrous concert. You know, we've all got concerts that stick in our mind, and that certainly was one that has stuck in what's left of my mind. And Jimmy Page was very influenced by a British acoustic guitarist by the name of Burt Jansch, hence all the acoustic stuff on Led Zeppelin 3. He was also very influenced by a great English electric guitar player who sadly passed away this month, the great Jeff Beck. And at one point there, the two of them were both in the Yardbirds. And we're going to do a couple of tributes to Jeff Beck tonight. I'm going to play one, and I'm going to attempt to play one now. That's the best you can do when it comes to... Not Josh, he's got it nailed, but I'll do my best anyhow. And this is the thing called Beck's Boogie, and it was on a Yardbirds album called Roger the Engineer. No fucking aircon. I think Tim or Josh have got a little story to tell you about the next tune. Do you like anyone here like cartoons? No, anyone here like cartoons? Okay.
Does anyone not like cartoons?
Yeah, who doesn't like cartoons?
I used to go around to Chris Finnen's place to like work up sets or work on music, but that never actually ever happened because then Ren and Stimpy would come out and we just watch cartoons instead. But we did learn one song, and that's the Ren and Stimpy theme song, from having heard it over and over again. 48 seconds of glory. Yes, we heard that many, many a time over the course of our time at Chris Finnen's house.
Okay, as you know, this gig is an ABBA showcase, and
Was that an Amish showcase? What?
ABBA, and of course they've got a lot to do with promoting and helping South Australian blues, and in actual fact, a great South Australian band called the Honey Badgers. Two of them are on their way to Memphis now, and some others leave later in the week. And when I first heard blues, we're talking about ABBA. If you're not a member of ABBA and you'd like to join, the benefits of things like this, special showcases, information about music, a chance to break bread with like-minded people that like this kind of music, meet new people, all sorts of fantastic benefits if you join. And of course it's all here in South Australia, so it's all ours. So I urge you to join. I think it's very worthwhile. My favourite musical form of all is a scratchy pot on a Strat. No, it's a slow blues. And I just love slow blues. And I first heard people like Clapton. Mike Bloomfield, there's a man that could turn a guitar inside out. So I'm going to do a little slow blues and join a couple of things together. There's a slow blues, and I've got some CDs and DVDs for sale. I've got a DVD out just in time for DVDs to finish, and no one uses the bleeding things anymore. But if you want one, there's 5 DVDs over there, and there's about 10 CDs. And there's a tune on the CD called 44 Years, which is a slow blues. But rather than do that one tonight, if you want that, buy the CD. But I'm going to do a little homage to Albert King and a few other people, and join some slow blues tunes together. There's a thing called Blues at Sunrise in the key of C. The sun rises in the east. Lord, it's set deeply in the west. The sun rises in the east. Lord, it's set deeply in the west. Yeah, I've been looking for my baby. You know I haven't found a little girl yet. I'm gonna call up China. I wanna see if my baby's over there. I'm gonna call up China. I want to see my babies over there. Can't find my baby. I can't find a little girl nowhere. She won't write me no letter. She won't call me up on telephone. She won't write me no letter. She won't call me on the telephone. I ain't had no real good loving. And since that little girl of mine, she been gone. Josh is gonna tell you just what that feels like. Tell you all about it. Tell him. Someday, baby, woman, you're gonna want me just like I want you. Someday, baby, you're gonna want me just like I want you. And darling, when you call me up on your telephone, I won't have nothing. I won't have nothing. I won't have nothing for you to do. Someday, baby, you're gonna want me by and by. Someday, baby, you're gonna want me by and by. Darling, you never miss your water. Well, you know you never miss your water. Until your well runs dry. We got one more tune for this set. How you folks doing, all right? Sounding all right for you? The volume okay? I can't begin to tell you. Well, it's kind of talking about music's like trying to talk about food, isn't it? How do you tell a Martian what watermelon tastes like? But I can't begin to tell you what a great joy and a pleasure it is to play with these wonderful musicians. And they've known me for a long time. And do a slow blues, and I do my cornball bullshit thing, holding up the little note there before the last word. They've seen it a million times, and they still pretend they like it. No, actually, I think they do like it. So I'm a very, very lucky man. I'm going to do a tune now. I'm going to dedicate this to a number of people. I want to dedicate it to Josh and Tim's father, Tony Bennett, who's no longer with us in body, but he is with us in spirit. I also want to dedicate it to a friend of mine, Stuart, and Stuart and Scott are here today, called Mark Pedler, who passed away just recently, and we were at his funeral this week. Tony Longbeard lost his father, and he had to attend to business yesterday. All these men, when you're a young man growing up, your father can it's kind of weird. They help you, but they're your father, so, occasionally you've got to bite back a little bit. One of the greatest things my father did was bring my family out to Australia. I'll be eternally grateful to him for that. So we're going to do a tune that isn't a blues, but when you play a tune that isn't a 12-bar, isn't a blues, it doesn't mean that there's not blues in it, because blues is a feeling. So we've got a couple of classical pieces we've got that we're going to, this one will plagiarise, and then Tim and Josh will tear one to pieces at the start of the next set. And their bark will definitely be worse than their bite. So a little version of Pachelbel's Canon for this wonderful country we live in. Please thank these wonderful friends of mine here. God bless them. We'll take a short little break. You can buy some CDs if you want, or some DVDs, or a drink, or whatever. We'll have a little break, and we won't make it any longer than about 20 minutes because we would like to play as much music as possible for you as we can. Again, can you please show your warm appreciation and thanks for Mr. Josh Bennett on guitar, Mr. Tim Bennett on the bass, Mr. Trapper Draper on drums. We have another friend of ours, Gunter, coming to join us for the next set. So we'll take a little break and we'll catch up with you shortly. Thank you very much.
And a final clap for Chris Finnen, everyone. Yes. Not a final clap. We'll do another one later.
Hey, music lovers. My name's Greg. I'm on the Arbor Committee, and I work with the events committee to put this on. We just want to say thank you to you guys for coming along. We're all about supporting live music in South Australia, particularly in the blues genre, and tonight supporting Mr. Chris Finnen, who's done it for so long. But what we'd like to say is thank you to you guys for coming along, and also thank you to the venues that support this sort of music. And I'm running towards an end here, so we want to thank people like, hang on, I wrote all this down. Where am I? Oh, yeah, okay. Thank the audience. Ask that they support the venues that support live music, not necessarily blues, but just live music, because it's all very well for the state government to spend shitloads of money to bring international stars over here or pay $900,000 for Guns N' Roses or whatever. But that ain't the ecosystem. The ecosystem is this. And that ecosystem is you guys coming out and supporting venues like the Wheaty, the Murray Delta Juke Joint, the Three Brothers Arms, the Semaphore Workers Club, comrades and fellow workers, Norwood Live, where we've got, the Wheaty assists us by providing a space for us to put four shows on a year. The next one will be in April, then we'll do a couple of others. So we try and stream a seasonal show. We have 2 shows, it might be 3, depending on how we negotiate in November, at Prospect. One will be Women in the Blues. If you see Kylie out in the bar, she'll be drumming. Well, she said she will be. I hope Dr. Soto don't have a gig on the same night. We'll be doing a piano night, and then I'm not too sure what we're doing in November. We've got to also think, hang on, I'm just trying to read my writing. Norwood Live, Workers Club, Gov. Oh, the Gov, because Norwood Live, we are again running the Memphis Blues Challenge later in this year. Now, at the moment, we've got Frankie and Sava, or Sava and Frankie, heading over to Memphis as Arbor's duo to represent South Australia in the International Blues Challenge. We've got the Honey Badgers going over to represent South Australia, which means that David Sly, who's over there, who drums for the Tin Men, is, after they all leave on Monday, a member of the first best blues band in South Australia, because they came second in the challenge. But so we're doing again at Norwood Live. We'll be running the heats, and then we'll be running the finals at the Gov. We've got a Youth in Blues program. Gunter is going to be up on stage in the next set. Gunter runs a band called Taking Back June. Absolutely cracker band. All products of the Youth in Blues program. This is where I'm getting to. Someone's going to be selling tickets at some stage, 3 for $5 for a raffle. You're probably not going to win anything, but that's not the point. We want you to pay the money so that we can put that into buying mentors to teach the Youth in Blues in October to the next lot of people. I think that's all my... Oh, hang on a sec. One last bit of notes. Again, the Wheaty, a great live venue. You got to support them, because if you don't support them, they won't be here. So, sound tech Marty, because the band sounds good. The lovely Rhea on the door, who's just so good to work with. Jade, who I did see, but I think she's disappeared. Jade, Marv, and the rest of the Wheaty team. You know, it's venues like this. Forget about going to Adelaide Oval. Forget about going to the Ensign. Bloody support these guys. If you've got a choice with your money, I think the state government's supporting the wrong people. We don't need shitloads of festivals. We don't need whatever that person was playing at the thing down at bloody McLaren Vale. We need you guys to support this. And where's Mick? Are you there, Mick? Yeah. Are you still there? He's gone. Okay, Mick's gone to the toilet. When I said to Mick, you know, we're going to do Chris's birthday, and he's got Josh and Tim, Mick said, Jesus, Josh, Jesus, Tim. And that's the other thing. Sorry, I'm running on. But, you know, you guys are really excited about these guys, and you should be. But if it ain't him and him backing it up with the beat, you know, they play over the top. It's this whole thing. So I think I'm going to go and sell raffle tickets now. Get your $5 out. If you don't have cash, we'll take you on the square over there. Thanks for coming along. And Steve wants me to get... Do we... T-shirts? Oh, we'll do that at the end. Yeah, okay. We've got Arbor merch over there. If you want a T-shirt, go and buy one of those too.